What if the closure you're waiting for never comes? Not in your relationships, not in your career, not in your life. Just silence. We spend so much of our lives waiting for the period at the end of the sentence. We wait for the final conversation that ties up all the loose ends. We wait for the apology that makes the hurt make sense. We wait for someone to sit across from us, look us in the eyes, and finally explain why. But what happens when that moment never arrives? Maybe it was a relationship that ended without explanation, or a job you lost without warning, a business that collapsed with no clear reason, or a health struggle that changed everything overnight. And all you're left with are questions. You lie awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, and you replay everything. What did I miss? What could I have done differently? Why did this happen to me? You turn the memories over and over in your hands like a puzzle with missing pieces. And the hardest part isn't the loss. It's not knowing why. We think closure will fix everything. One explanation, one conversation, one answer. And finally, we'll feel at peace. We are conditioned by movies and books to expect a neat resolution. The hero learns the lesson, the villain reveals their motive, the lovers have one last tearful goodbye. But life doesn't work that way, because closure is rarely given. Sometimes you lose a job and no one tells you the real reason. No feedback. No clarity, just rejection. You're left wondering if you weren't smart enough, if you didn't work hard enough, or if it was just bad luck. The corporate machinery just moves on, leaving you standing in the cold. Sometimes someone walks away without explaining what changed. No closure, no goodbye that makes sense. Someone who promised you forever suddenly becomes a stranger. You check your phone, waiting for a text that will never come, trying to decode the silence they left behind. Sometimes you lose money, a business fails, and you never fully understand what went wrong. You poured your blood, sweat, and tears into a dream, and it slipped through your fingers anyway. And sometimes your own body changes and there is no clear answer why. No explanation that feels fair. You follow all the rules, you do everything right, and illness or pain finds you regardless. Your brain is designed to solve problems. It wants certainty, patterns, clear endings. When a loop is left open, human psychology dictates that we will fixate on it. It's a survival mechanism. But life doesn't always give you that. It's like watching 4 different stories in your life and none of them have an ending. So your mind keeps searching, trying to complete what was never finished. You become a detective in your own tragedy, digging for clues in conversations that happened years ago. But what if I told you that the answers you are looking for won't actually bring you peace? But here's the reality. Closure is not missing. It just didn't come in the form you expected. That job ended because it wasn't meant to continue. That relationship ended because it couldn't sustain itself. That loss happened because life is unpredictable. That health shift happened, and no explanation will make it fair. And this is where most people get stuck. They keep searching for perfect understanding instead of accepting imperfect reality. Closure isn't about knowing everything. It's about deciding that you know enough to move forward. If you are brutally honest with yourself, you didn't miss everything. You saw the signs at work. You felt the distance in the relationship. You noticed things falling apart financially. You experienced the changes in your body. That was your closure. The disrespect was the closure. The silence was the closure. The shifting energy was the closure. But the mind resists this because it wants a cleaner ending, a fairer ending, a more satisfying ending. But healing doesn't begin when things make sense. It begins when you stop needing them to. If you are tired of carrying the weight of unfinished stories, it is time to take your power back. Here are 4 ways to find peace when the world refuses to give you an ending. 1. Accept unanswered questions. Not every question deserves an answer. Sometimes, the people who hurt us don't even know why they did it. If they are confused about their own actions, they can never give you the clarity you are begging for. 2. Stop chasing explanations. You don't need full understanding to move forward. You do not need an apology to forgive. You do not need an exit interview to know your worth. Your value is not dependent on someone else's ability to see it. 3. Give yourself closure. Say what wasn't said internally. Closure is an inside job. It is a gift you give yourself, not a transaction you make with the universe. 4. Redirect your energy from why did this happen to what do I do next. Stop looking backward at a door that has firmly shut. Turn around. Look at the open road ahead of you. Write the letter you never got to send. Speak the words they never said to you. Cry the tears you've been holding back. Feel the anger. Feel the grief. And then let it end. Because holding on doesn't change the past. It only delays your future. Letting go without closure means choosing peace over perfect understanding. You don't need every answer to move on with your life. Some chapters don't close neatly. They just stop. And you decide to keep going anyway. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. And you're stronger than you think. Follow for more lessons from the inside out. If this video helped you find a little bit of peace today, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below and share a story about a time you had to move on without getting the closure you wanted. Your story might just be the exact thing someone else needs to read today. And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue this journey of healing together. Thank you for watching and keep moving forward.